Name a single good decision from Gary Bettman's 30-year NHL rule. Manfred calling the World Series trophy just metal, or Goodell defending football amid CTE concerns. These commissioners make decisions that infuriate fans constantly and consistently. But what if some of these supposed villains are actually good at their jobs? Today, I'm challenging everything you think you know about sports commissioners, like master strategists making unpopular moves for long-term gain. These leaders might deserve a second look. I'll examine the concrete numbers behind their decisions, from league revenues to handling of scandals, and rank who's actually succeeding. And I promise, at least one of my conclusions is going to make you mad. Like cray mad. Can you handle a defense of the commissioner you hate the most? The money makers, financial success, or smoke and mirrors. Ever wonder why owners keep these guys around when fans absolutely hate them? It's actually pretty simple. Money. When you're making billions for billionaires, they tend to like having you around for the long haul. But which commissioner is actually making their owners the most cash or money? That's what we're about to find out. Let's break down the financial impact each commissioner has had on their league. And where better to start than with NFL's Roger Goodell. When he took over in 2006, NFL teams were worth about $898 million each. Less than $1 billion for an NFL team. Today, those same franchises are worth over $5 billion on average. No wonder the owners keep giving this guy contract extensions despite fans booing him at every draft. The NFL latest TV deal is a monumental $110 billion. That's not a typo. You did hear me correctly. $110 billion. When fans complain about Goodell, owners just point to their bank accounts. He might be the most booed man in sports, but to the 32 people who actually matter in NFL, he's a golden goose laying massive eggs. While the NFL dominates financially, the NBA's global expansion tells us its own success story. Adam Silver has transformed basketball from an American sport to a global phenomenon. The international growth under Silver has been incredible across China, Europe, and Africa. He completely revolutionized how we watch basketball with the league pass and embrace social media highlights instead of fighting them. The result: NBA franchise values have exploded, with teams like the Warriors going from $450 million to over $5 billion in just a decade. That's 10 years. Rob Manfred might be baseball's villain, but MLB franchise values keep climbing despite the constant baseball is dying narrative that you hear. The Baltimore Orioles sold for $1.7 billion after being purchased for $173 million in 1993. That's almost a 900% increase. Not bad for a sport supposedly on life support. Really, baseball local TV deals might not get headlines, but they pump billions into the sport every year, keeping Manfred in favor with the owners. And then there's Gary Bettman, the NHL's commissioner for 30 years. After all that time, hockey still remains firmly in fourth place among American sports. While other leagues have seen explosive growth, the NHL has grown more modestly, with the gap between hockey and other leagues actually widening under Bettman's watch. The NHL's TV situation perfectly illustrates the problem. While the NFL signed a monster $110 billion, the NHL struggles with regional sports networks going bankrupt. DirecTV, Bally Sports, these companies carrying hockey games face serious financial trouble, leaving fans scrambling to find games on premium cable packages. But here's the thing, making money isn't everything. Sure, commissioners work for the owners, and the owners care about profits. But what about actually improving the game we love to watch? Game changers. Who's actually improving their sport? While money fills the owners' pockets, rule changes directly impacts what we see on our screens every game day. When Manfred introduced the pitch clock, baseball purists like me lost their minds. Yet somehow games got faster and scores went up. Who's actually making their sports better versus just making it more profitable? Let's look at the changes these commissioners have made to the games themselves. Rob Manfred might be the most hated man in baseball, but the numbers tell a surprising story. His pitch clock has transformed baseball's traditional leisurely pace into something with actual energy. Games in 2023 dropped by 24 minutes on average, making them more watchable while scoring actually increased with the faster pace. Baseball's heartbeat quickened and fans are responding. Attendance is trending up and upward, proving that even the most traditional sport can evolve successfully. Over in the NBA, Adam Silver has revolutionized basketball's competitive landscape. His play-in tournament stands as his most brilliant innovation. Before, teams without playoff hopes would tank hard, abandoning any competitive spirit. Now those same teams have meaningful games, fighting for play-in spots. This creates legitimate drama in what used to be the NBA's dead zone. Players and fans embrace this change because it rewards effort and extends competitive basketball deeper, yes, deeper into the season. The NFL under Roger Goodell presents a more complicated picture. His safety-focused rule changes have successfully reduced concussions, a win for player health, but there's a significant downside. Games are increasingly interrupted by replay reviews, and constant penalty flags disrupt the flow of play. Players themselves worry that excessive penalties are changing football's fundamental nature. The sport is safer, but many question if it's better to watch. Seriously, is increased safety worth sacrificing the game's traditional intensity? Gary Bettman's NHL innovations show similar trade-offs. 3-on-3 overtime and shootouts eliminated ties, guaranteeing resolution to every game. The open ice has created genuinely exciting finishes, but hockey purists complain These artificial endings feel manufactured compared to traditional sudden death overtime, sacrificing competitive authenticity for entertainment value. But rules, or beyond rules, how we access these sports matters equally. Silver embraces the digital revolution, making NBA League Pass the gold standard for sports streaming, while creating a generation of fans who follow through social media. Meanwhile, Bettman kept NHL games locked behind regional sport networks, facing financial collapse, limiting hockey's exposure and growth potential. Yeah. Wow. What's fascinating is how fan sentiment contradict results. Manfred making the most effective improvements remains deeply unpopular. Meanwhile, traditionalists resist changes that objectively improve the viewing experience. This disconnect reveals just how emotional our connection to sports truly are. Crisis management. Heroes or villains when it matters most. While fan perception may not always align with results, it's in times of crisis that we see a commissioner's true character. Rob Manfred calling the World Series trophy just a piece of metal during the Astros cheating scandal wasn't just a PR disaster. It revealed how these commissioners actually view the games they supposed to protect. In these moments of turmoil, we discover whether these powerful figures are true leaders or just well-paid figureheads who fold when stakes are highest. The Astros sign stealing scandal, try saying that really fast, might be the single greatest failure of leadership in modern sports history. Fans were outraged as Manfred issued no player punishments and dismissed the championship trophy itself. It wasn't just that he made the wrong call. His response showed complete tone deafness to what the scandal meant to baseball fans who deeply valued integrity. Roger Goodell's handling of player protests during the national anthem created an absolute mess. He managed to alienate players who felt unsupported while simultaneously angering fans who disagreed with the protests. His approach to domestic violence cases has been wildly inconsistent. Sometimes a slap on the wrist, other times a season-long suspension for similar offenses. A 2021 Harris poll found Goodell with just a 57% favorability rating, significantly lower than the NFL's overall approval. A number that reflects not just a rating, but a deep disconnect. The fan base he's supposed to serve. By contrast, Adam Silver showed exactly what decisive crisis management looks like. When Clippers owner Donald Sterling's racist comment became public, Silver didn't. He quickly banned Sterling for life within days, sending a crystal clear message that earned immediately respect from players and fans alike. The COVID pandemic provided another revealing case study. When Rudy Gobert tested positive, Silver immediately suspended the NBA season. Complete shutdown, no hesitation. Meanwhile, Goodell pushed forward without a bubble, resulting in rescheduled games and depleted rosters. Gary Bettman might be the most stubborn of all commissioners. He refused to acknowledge the link between concussions and CTE until 2016, long after it was scientifically established. This denial not only damaged the NHL's reputation, but delayed crucial discussions about player safety. His Olympic participation decisions have consistently frustrated players who desperately wanted to represent their country. What's fascinating about crisis management is how it reveals priorities. Silva puts the game integrity and players' welfare first. Goodell protects the NFL brand at all costs, sometimes sacrificing consistency. Bettman and Manfred operate purely from a business perspective, treating their sports as products rather than cultural institutions that fans are emotionally invested in. Conclusion. So, who really takes the crown as the best commissioner in sports? What if everything you believed about these leaders was flipped on its head? Let's look at what the data reveals. Financial success, game innovations, and masterful management crisis management have earned Adam Silva an impressive 67% favorability rating amongst fans in a 2021 survey, towering over his counterparts and placing him firmly at the top. Meanwhile, Gary Bettman sits at the bottom tier. After 3 decades running the NHL, his stubborn Olympic stance and questionable franchise relocations have made him perhaps the least respected commissioner in professional sports. Next time you're booing a commissioner, consider this. Are you upset about genuinely poor leadership or tough decisions that might benefit the sport long term? That answer might completely change your perspective. And speaking of perspective, there's one more critical factor we haven't discussed yet.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.